Alrighty, guys. Conrad Black. Do you guys know him? He is quite the personnage. Very Trump-like guy right there. So I'll try to make that one a bit short, but interesting man. I want to start these videos with some kind of disclaimer here that I don't have the full data on these people. Like this is Wikipedia data. So for now, my process is not that extensive, and say that I would talk to this guy in real life, which could very much happen. I could get him on a podcast and so forth. I'm pretty sure I'd have a different conversation. So doesn't mean that he's right. Doesn't mean that I'm right. Means that humans are complex. Because yeah, basically this guy's brand dead as a fraud. He spent time in jail, and I'm gonna make these videos about these people. Probably, should I say like as an example of what not to do? Probably in this case. Yeah, definitely some kind of disclaimer of what not to do in a career, and to not get into trouble. But yeah, again, there's probably good insights that I could learn from him. Obviously, an educated man with a articulated man that accomplished a lot. But yeah, you'll see. I'll try to give out the facts here with my commentary, but my commentary is obviously biased because first, the source of data is not um, the full picture, and yeah, second, I have my own thoughts. So yeah, there you go. So controversy is the first line that I highlighted here for this man that has a net worth of $80 million. And when you think about it, the sadness here, and I mean, that was 2011, and I'm not sure that he made even more, but basically, if this guy, okay, so that's quite the intro, right? So, if this guy would have not done pretty much anything with his career, I think his net worth would be around 80 million. Why? Because he received money from his parents that were already rich, and he zigged and zagged and got back to square one, basically. If he would have inherited that money, invested in probably stocks and real estate like more conservative folks do, he would have ended up with that net worth too. Because that's somewhat this guy's goal, by the way. It's not necessarily happiness. He's this Trump kind of character, so by his own measures, his goals accomplishment, he would probably say that he also failed himself. I'm gonna get into the details because yeah, I am myself zigzagging around here. This guy, yeah, he. The other thing there that this man, so he owned various newspapers, right? That is the intro. Peerage is another thing that I highlighted. That's the intro here. Peerage, guys, is when you get like nobility title, and just to show you how this guy is all about like ego and titles. Well, the guy gave up his Canadian citizenship to receive the British royal title, whatever that means. Mostly for ego. Yeah, sure, you can do better business, but for example, right? Me, I see these people on LinkedIn with like these long ass title PBA, RSM, BCCH. They have their name Charles Cormier, Dr. Charles Cormier, PBH, MYC, CHLA, WV, and their whole LinkedIn name is all about titles. So at some point, guys, like, who are you? Are you a human or are you titles? In this case, yeah, it's obviously can bring like more money to have these titles, this nobility. um, but at some point you need to leave this title, is my point. You need to go buy your own self and have your own name, your own brand out there, and that's the title in itself. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, they're not Dr. Gates. Anyway, so yeah, 4 counts of fraud. Usually, the justice at this level, I must say, they do rightful decision at this level, right? Um, and again, never experienced that level of justice. Low level justice, they're mostly idiots. The judges, but high level, they have been vetted, and usually the decisions that they make are good. And the courts judged him guilty. I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying usually there's higher chances that, yeah, he might indeed be guilty. Um, I'm also, apart from, like showing you what not to do, I will try to highlight the good parts also, because it's false that everyone, like someone is 100% guilty or 100% an idiot. This guy's probably 82% an idiot and 18% rightful. 42 months in prisons and a fine of 125. He ended up paying way more than that. Um, so, okay, here's like a move that is somewhat good for him, right? Because that got him a presidential pardon. Is it an ethical move? No. Um, And do we understand Mr. Trump's brain? Yes. It's a simplistic brain. It's not a complex brain. It's an old school brain, like one plus one equal two, sometimes three, um, or sometimes one. Actually, I think that would be more accurate. But as Mr. Trump is mostly a win loser, um, but yeah, he wrote a flattering biography of Donald Trump and was granted a pardon. Good for him, right? Good for him. Now, who writes flattering biographies? This is like so obvious. This is not even Machiavellian level. It's like, I don't know what level that is. It's like a dumb move that appeals to a dumb person, and the outcome is good. Anyway, so yeah, he was granted pardon. Now, some of you might laugh listening at this video. I'm being somewhat offensive here, so pardon me for that. That's not the human being I want to be, but at least that's my position on the topic right now, which so for some form of entertainment, some form of education here. So yeah, I'm covering like Canadian folks nowadays. As I told you, his dad was a very rich man. That's what got him started. So I thought I'd read this quote here. He was born into a very large family of athletic, handsome people. So yeah, his sisters and brothers very successful, mostly brothers. Wasn't particularly athletic or handsome, so he was a nerd basically, a fat nerd, most probably. So he developed a different skill, wordplay, which he practiced a lot with his father. So he was that, you can picture yourself as the athletic brother, that has discipline, that has values, and this fat nerd as a brother that, always wants the attention, is kind of jealous. So you can see the team here. At least I clearly pictured it. He was into trouble, selling stolen exam papers. So talking about ethics here, but I mean, none of us were ethical at the young age. Most of us aren't later on. I was a bad boy too. I did a lot of unethical things when I was young. I didn't steal exam papers to sell them, though. That is pretty next level. Law degree at Université de Laval, which is a basic university that I didn't even get accepted at. I was so bad at school. But yeah, law degree, right? Power, 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 power. If you know law, you are a powerful man. Not a rich man, but you are powerful. You can defend yourself against society and life. So that's where he went. Um, Religion, okay, controversy time. Like, okay, this guy comes from an atheist family, right? Like a lot, and yeah, like a rich family, right? And at this time, families, rich families especially, they don't really believe in God. Why? Because they have money, they have a bit less hardship, they have science to guide them, they have cash. So My theory here is that he turned to religion because he was internally tortured, even in money. Um, and yeah, thank God that he did, because apparently that served him while he was in jail. But yeah, that's my theory, at least, that he adopted religion, um, because he couldn't find a way. It is my thesis that you don't really need God in your life if you have found your way through rationality, through systems, through the heart, through spirituality, right? And I'm still seeking God sometimes on my end, especially in my long and painful runs. God is becomes kind of obvious, but yeah, I won't go to like church unless my wife forces me to, and basically, yeah, I won't get like over religious and like chased archbishops like this guy did, and befriend them. It's like no need for that. Why do you need that? Like, as some guy that has cash, well, must be because skeletons in the closet. I'm speaking very negatively of this guy, and I didn't think I would, but it's just like, yeah, there's some stuff that is somewhat obvious to me. um so yeah, his dad died. He inherited 22% stake in Ravelston Corporation, which by then owned 61 voting control of Argus Corporation, an influential holding company in Canada. So that is an understatement there. That was like a top 5 company in Canada at that time. And that's why I'm saying his stake was probably worth 80, if not 100 million, um, back then. The guy still made some good move, as we're gonna cover a bit later. Um, that was one of them right there. So he paid 18 million for McDougall's widow, to control Revelston, which, by the way, is probably a total steal. So there were like speculations as per the ethics there again of that move. McDougall's widow was probably ill advised, because apparently, yeah, that was a major steal. Again, good move for him, but you'll see the recurring theme of win lose, which is also pretty common in Mr. Trump's life, which is why both kind of get along. Um, there you go, another win lose move there. So he withdrew 56 million from the Dominion workers pension plan. You know, who would do that? Who in their sound mind would do that? Again, a very win lose move. Which is why he got into trouble in the end. When you put that much bad karma, and he should know that if he's a man of God, it comes back to you. So now I'm not like quoting this, that, but yeah, like this could be somewhat accurate of what I'm reading here. And I mean, if it's a journalist that said that, it's like journalists, they're not business people. Plus, they talk shit a lot. But yeah, it seems, there was a team back in these days, of how do you call these guys? The corporate raiders, like these firms that would come and make hostile takeover, plus like separate the business, sell their assets, and not care for the humans. By the way, um, there's a point to be made that it's like every man for himself. It's a legal move in this capitalist system, but I mean, no comments on that one. I'm neutral on that. But he seemed to be that kind of guy, that came into business and destroyed them for his own profits. Um, that's a good move right there. I'm not commenting on the ethics here, that New Zealand investment, but yeah, he sold his share in a newspaper for $300 million profit. That is good money right there. Yeah, good move by Darren. But he would screw it up. He would probably be greedy, trying to prove something to someone that didn't exist, probably his dad or his brothers or something. Apparently, he had a wife also that he wanted to impress and became very opulent. So, yeah, he would screw it up. He got like into deep legal trouble. Imagine his fees of the investigation of Black and his associated climbed to 200 million. So there you go. Where did that 300 million profits go? Not into compounding, I will tell you that. Mostly into defending positions, So, lesson here, guys: when you make money, make sure that it's green money and it's not yellow money. It's not orange or red money. If there's if red means blood, or if orange means a leaf that is dying, a maple leaf that is dying, make sure that it's green. Make sure that it's really, really green. Make sure that it stays green. Make sure that it's hydrated and that it grows. Make sure that it produces seeds. Because yeah, that his cash in his case, yeah, um, not well invested. So yeah, apparently he knew that the profitability of print was going down. So not an idiot. And that was like in the 2000s, which is quite surprising, right? I was reading the journals up until 2010s. My mom is still reading the journal. So yeah, not an idiot. Also, this guy, high IQ. But yeah, probably very low EQ is. And when like there's a this balance between both, you will get fucked by life, which he did. Um, he apparently. Do you see a similarity here with like him and Trump? He removed 13 boxes of paper from his office. So one takes playbooks from the other, and apparently they were neighbors. By the way. Um, So yeah, served 29 months for fraud in the end. So the fraud is basically that yeah, he apparently tried to pull money off the company. Mail fraud plus obstruction of justice when it comes to deleting some documents. You can't do that. 6 years and a half. So yeah, people did not like this guy. There was some anger there, right? 6 years for white collar crime. Um, 6 million that he had to pay also, but as you'll see, it wasn't necessarily over. um Here, like that was just highlighted for the fact that he wanted the Nobel title, and he was admitted to the Order of Canada, whatever bullshit that is. But yeah, basically, you can feel his ego there. I would not wait for giving these junior officials the evidently almost aphrodisiacal pleasure. Wow, that's a cool word. Of throwing me out, I would withdraw. So yeah, apparently that title meant a lot for him. And yeah, here's the pardon. Trump noted broad support from many high profile individuals who have vigorously vouched for his exceptional character. Okay, that was like a nice PR statement, and that didn't mean much. The usual. Um, and yeah, it's not over for him because now he has to pay 5.1 million. So always check your taxes. And that's it for this guide. Like, what can I deduce here that I have not deduced yet? First, I won't do like all always successful folks. I will also do folks that warning story. That guy is not all bad, by the way. Like very well articulated, very good communicator. Great journalist, obviously, great media. Could have been a great media mogul if his ego would have not gone in the way. Now, could he have done better? Sure. I mean, Lord Black of Cross Harbor, you could have done better. Like EQ, 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 EQ. Tried to save yourself with God, but God can't save you. You need to add value. I think that the main point here is win-win. You need to respect the law of win-win in life. You need to add value to other before you ask. And if you try to scale win-lose, you get it back in the face. You can't scale win-lose. Win-losers always end up losing themselves. Especially in a connected society that's regimented and structured. So good warning story here, guys.